Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The symbolic hoisting of the national flag of St. Vincent and the Grenadines took place last evening, marking the beginning of the country's 46th independence anniversary celebrations. St. Vincent and the Grenadines gained independence from Britain on October 27, 1979. This year's celebrations are being spearheaded by the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, which has planned a full month of activities to commemorate the historic milestone. Delivering remarks at the ceremony, Minister of Culture Carlos James called on Vincentians to unite as a people, not only to reflect on the struggles and achievements of the past, but also to recognize and celebrate the progress the country has made as an independent nation.
This is the St. Vincent and the Grenadines I am proud of, and the people whom we call Vincentians, that I am indeed so proud of, and their contribution to nation building. I urge you as Vincentians to use this historic month as a month of reflection, a period in which unity as a people is something that we put at the front of our day-to-day living. Lives and livelihoods that we continue to build and provide the quality of life for in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Your contribution is a big part of that.
Minister James also urged citizens to actively participate in shaping the country's future, including the conversation around St. Vincent and the Grenadines eventually transitioning to a republic.
I am fortified in knowing that in my generation, the time will come when this country and its people recognize the significance and importance of moving to a period of becoming a republic. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines can finally say that our country, we owe no homage to a motherland or constitutionally make provisions for a head of state who is not of Vincentian or who has no connection or ties to our country. And I say that the time will come when this generation and my generation will make that call, and we move towards a period where we can reflect, we can reconsider, and we can appreciate the importance of moving in the direction of having St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a republic.
In the feature address, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves renewed his long-standing call for reparations for the genocide of the indigenous Garifuna people and the horrors of African slavery, both carried out by colonial powers. He also appealed for greater love and unity among Vincentians, emphasizing that solidarity is essential for continued national development.
Is to have a first world economy. We can do it, but we have to do it together in solidarity with one another. We have to live better with our neighbors. We have to love one another more. We have to love with an ever-fixed mark, like an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. We have to plan. And we have to make sure that every one of us, we do the best in accordance with our ability, and we be rewarded accordingly. And even when that has been done, those who are sick we have to take care of. Those who are old we have to take care of. Those who have disabilities we have to care for them. These are precepts and ideas that we know from ages hence, ages before, and we will know to ages hence.
During the ceremony, Prime Minister Gonzalez also announced that Cabinet has approved 82 new bursaries for students pursuing the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE. These, he noted, are in addition to the more than 3,000 scholarships already granted for the academic year.
The results of the CAPE and associate degree examinations, we have just approved 82 national scholarships, exhibitions, bursaries, and special awards on the basis of those examinations performed by young persons. This is a remarkable story, and this is just on the basis of those competitive exams. And when we get later to deal with tuition scholarships for the next academic year.
The flag raising ceremony concluded with a vibrant display of lights and fireworks symbolizing national pride and unity as the country looks ahead to its 46th year as an independent nation. A total of 599 laptops were distributed earlier today to first-year students at the Villa campus of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. The devices were located between two divisions, 573 students from the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies and 26 students from the Division of Teacher Education. The distribution was carried out during two official ceremonies, forming part of the government's ongoing commitment to expanding access to technology and enhancing the quality of education nationwide. Delivering the feature address, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves emphasized the strategic importance of technological empowerment in national development.
Speak a little about what we have been doing in the education revolution and where this fits in to the journey thus far and where we are going. And where we are going, when we end up at the point where I am setting the vision for, that is to say, to transform St. Vincent and the Grenadines into a first world nation status over the next 15 years, that is, by the year 2040, to have the living standards and all the conveniences and all the ways of life and living of first world countries.
Dr. Gonzalez also highlighted the growing importance of artificial intelligence AI in shaping the global landscape, stressing the need for local students to be ready for this reality. He told the ceremony that AI is a thing of the future. He wants the nation's youth to be equipped, noting that the investment in laptops is a practical step towards developing the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and innovators.
This particular development of the information technology, it has amazing possibilities in education, in health, in science, and of course, equally in warfare. This is why I talk about the beneficial uses. And the issue is whether we will control, humanity will control AI, or AI will control humanity. There are some jobs which AI would simply replace. The robots would simply replace. In fact, it's starting already. But you have to prepare yourself for this world which is ahead. You can't look forward to the past. Some people want you to look forward to the past. What Ralph is saying to you, you have to look forward to the past. You have to look to the past to help you to make your future better. But not to go and live in the past and not go back to backward things in the past. And you have to take the entire world as it is together. The region, the world, the economy has to be more, in addition local and national, it has to be global and regional. And you have the important role to play.
Also addressing the gathering, Minister of Youth and Education Dr. Rhonda Brewster described the event as a proud moment in the country's ongoing education revolution. He further told the students not to forget the value of traditional learning methods, noting that the library still has a role to play. He encouraged students to use the laptops responsibly and to strike a healthy balance between digital and traditional learning resources.
We have done tremendous work in strengthening and developing our students here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as it pertains to the education revolution. But what does this say? Or what does this signal? It signals the commitment of our government to education and also to technology and advancing with the times. Because now, many of you, for your research purposes, you no longer have to go in the library to find the encyclopedias. You can just punch it in on your laptop or your other devices, and you can do your research from the comfort of your home. But that doesn't negate the fact that you must also spend time in the library, because it is important in terms of your reading and your development. So don't say everything is at my fingertip, there's no use for the library. No, the library also plays an important part in your development as a young student.
Both government officials underscored that providing students with personal laptops is essential to preparing them for success in an increasingly digital world. The initiative was hailed as another major milestone in the broader strategy to improve educational equity, digital access, and students' performance. In the coming days and weeks, over 1,300 laptops are expected to be distributed in other educational institutions. Tomorrow, the distribution continues at the Arnorsville campus of the SVG Community College. Here that Cannabliss Festival 2025 officially opened today at Victoria Park, bringing together exhibitors from several countries to showcase a wide range of medicinal marijuana products. Organized by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Medical Cannabis Authority, the MCA, the 4-day festival aims to promote cannabis education, innovation, and investment opportunities. The event includes a series of lectures and discussions led by industry experts with a focus on policy development and product quality. Chief Executive Officer of the MCA, Dr. Gerald Thompson, said the first 2 days of the festival will center around policy and quality assurance in the industry. These sessions, part of the official lecture series, are expected to draw participation from traditional cultivators, regional stakeholders, and international partners.
Today, we welcome delegates from 11 countries, including Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago. The Caribbean region is a region with, as I said, the highest density of legalization on the globe. We also will have experts from the Netherlands, Germany, Canada, the USA, and across the Caribbean. There will be over 120 traditional cultivated delegates from across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We also have a special component called the Expo. And this is where we have partnered with the Nyabingi and the promoters of the ITIL Fest to bring ITIL nutritious foods to this venue.
Dr. Thompson also highlighted SVG's progress in cannabis product innovation, particularly through the infused products regulations, which allow for the development and sale of marijuana-infused consumables, including edibles such as chocolates.
Well, we've seen now collaboration between one of our companies, medicinal, with that of the St. Vincent Chocolate Company, to produce chocolate with CBD and THC products infused. Clearly, we will see other forms of these development. And as regulators, we'll be looking and monitoring this very closely, but you will see and maybe even be able to sample some of those products today. At the hospital, we have a newly refurbished conference room. Sadly, sometimes we are not able to get our doctors to come over to a festival like this as they're so busy in the hospital. Well, we've decided to take the Cannabliss to the hospital, to the doctors. And so, as a sideline tomorrow, we'll be carrying over a special lecture as a side event into the hospital just for the doctors and pharmacists of this nation, and maybe anyone else who'd like to attend.
The Ministries of Health, Agriculture and Tourism are also playing key roles in the festival, supporting its educational and developmental objectives. Visitors and participants will have the opportunity to tour licensed marijuana farms to gain first-hand insights into cultivation practices and sustainability efforts. Meanwhile, Minister of Finance Camila Gonzalez says the legal marijuana industry, once touted as a billion-dollar global business, has the potential to significantly contribute to St. Vincent and the Grenadines' gross domestic product (GDP). Speaking at the launching event, Gonzalez noted that while the Caribbean has yet to fully capitalize on the cannabis market, the region is showing promising signs of progress.
You get the GDP of Guyana and Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and you put them all together, all of those countries didn't make as much money as ganja made last year. And the projection is that cannabis will be a $200 billion business in the next 5 years. That's a lot of money.
However, Gonzalez also expressed concern about the disadvantages small states like St. Vincent and the Grenadines face, particularly due to the growing dominance of the United States in the global cannabis industry. He explained that the U.S. increasingly sees marijuana as a lucrative business and wants to position itself as the global leader, which creates an uneven playing field that puts smaller developing nations like St. Vincent and the Grenadines at a disadvantage.
It becomes more commercial, the industry that we're trying to create in St. Vincent and the Grenadines becomes more important as an example of how to do things right in the cannabis space. Because, don't get it twisted, the United States of America is trying to corner the market on marijuana. And they have done it in a very ingenious way. They have legalized marijuana usage in their individual states, but they have kept federally marijuana usage illegal. And what does that mean for us? And what does that mean for the United States? It means that if cannabis is legal in California, you can grow as much cannabis and sell it in your lounges and your dispensaries in California as much as you want. But because it is federally illegal, you can't sell Vincentian marijuana in a California cannabis dispensary. So they've created a system where they have closed their markets to allow them to research and to profit, and to leave us smaller islands, smaller markets by the wayside while they perfect their cannabis product.
Gonzalez emphasized the need for fair trade practices, regional collaboration, and continued investment in local infrastructure to ensure that Caribbean countries benefit meaningfully from the emerging cannabis economy. The Cannabliss Festival will culminate with a live concert on the final night featuring international reggae and dancehall artists, Beanie Man and Spraggle bands. The Cannabliss Festival is part of SVG's broader strategy to position itself as a regional hub for the medicinal cannabis industry. In other local news now, we hear that Philip Jackson, the opposition New Democratic Party candidate for Marriaqua, has pledged his full commitment to the people of the constituency, declaring he brings the best of his head, heart and hand in partnership for transformation. Jackson made a declaration during a village meeting held on Tuesday night where he laid out key aspects of his vision for Marriaqua's development. Jackson said Marriaqua has long been overlooked by the current government despite its potential to become a powerful and thriving community. He highlighted infrastructure, particularly roads development and the improvement of public facilities, as urgent priorities that must be addressed to support both residents and economic activity.
That every single cemetery site in Marriaqua will be equipped with proper toilet facilities. The ladies tell me that is what they want and that is what is going to happen. And you see all those roads Curtis talk about? To make Marriaqua a powerful place, we have to use roads to connect farms to markets, connect people to facilities. They will be fixed. And because Marriaqua is going to be a powerful place, you see that bridge down we call Dacaster Bridge? For those who don't know the name Dacaster, the bridge by George's Supermarket, it's too narrow. It's too narrow for a powerful Marriaqua that we're going to create. So we're going to expand that bridge to make sure we can bring containers in and out of a transformed Marriaqua.
The NDP candidate placed significant emphasis on revitalizing the agriculture sector, which he described as the backbone of the Marriaqua Valley. Jackson said that under his leadership, agriculture will be a cornerstone of local economic transformation. He criticized what he called years of neglect of the agriculture sector, promising a more strategic approach to farming, including support for youth involvement in agribusiness and the introduction of climate-smart farming practices.
Now, a lot has been said about agriculture, so this is how I'm going to deal with it. I want to tell you that the only team who knows how to put the components of agriculture together to transform our lives is Team NDP. I want young people listening now and traditional farmers to know that for the NDP, we believe that agriculture is a part for wealth creation. I want you to become comfortable with the idea that you can become rich if you put in the hard work through agriculture. Get accustomed to that, because that is what we are creating to make it possible for you. So listen to me, young person. For the NDP, we see agriculture as an investment and agriculture as a business. For the traditional farmers, we see agriculture as a business.
Jackson also drew attention to the long-abandoned Marriaqua Greenhouse Park, once touted as a flagship agricultural project aimed at modernizing farming in the valley. Jackson told residents that the Greenhouse Park had the potential to be a game changer, but instead it became just another example of wasted public funds and broken promises. He argued that with proper planning and oversight, the facility could have increased food production, created employment, and boosted local exports. He pledged to push for its revitalization if elected, saying it could still serve as a hub for innovation in sustainable agriculture.
I cannot ignore the Greenhouse Park. Out of place, Sabuto, without consulting the people of Marriaqua. After that project has been left failing for years, he took it and single-handedly gave it to a boss who's already making millions and said, take it. Listen to me. That Greenhouse Park in Montreal, our farmers through cooperatives will be given preference to use it to transform their lives. And we're going to make sure that the 3 secondary schools in Marriaqua have a powerful agricultural program connected to that greenhouse. Let's do this thing properly.
Throughout his speech, Jackson positioned himself as a candidate ready to deliver meaningful change, contrasted his plans with what he described as years of stagnation and missed opportunities under the Unity Labour Party, which has held power for over 2 decades. And the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the SVG-PF, will host the passing out parade of the 42nd cohort of police recruits tomorrow, Friday, October 3rd, 2025, at the Annisvale Sporting Complex from 4 p.m. The SVG-PF says the ceremony marks the formal transition of the newest members of the force as they complete a rigorous training and prepare to serve the nation with distinction. Official addresses will be delivered by Lieutenant Commander William Tibbles, Commissioner of Police, Enville Williams, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Legal Affairs and Tertiary Education, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, Senior Magistrate Tamika De Silva Mackenzie will deliver the feature address.